Yo, yo, yo.
Is it on? I'm checking the YouTube right now.
It should be on, ladies
God,
and gentlemen. I think the sound should be right.
I'm looking at the YouTube page,
On
and
YouTube?
yeah. So right now, the one where you click the main label, that one is live, but the other two
Nah.
is not working. Uh, both
Well,
both of them are still says upcoming.
okay. I do see one that's working though.
Okay, now it's okay. Let me see. Let me double check. Yeah, the one that's the label of the YouTube page, that one's for sure working.
Okay.
But the other two is not working. There's two of them that say upcoming.
Right. I know why that happened. Back. Yes, I know exactly
There's
why
that.
that happened.
There's actually three of them that say upcoming.
Right. And the one that is going, I wonder why these other ones aren't running. Let me look and see. Yeah. Yeah, I don't have to click live.
Yeah, it's like four different links, and only one of them is the one that's
Right,
working.
right. I know we got that one going. I'm gonna
Right.
just kill the other three links. Yeah, we're fine. No, we're fine. We're up. We're
All right.
live.
All right. I mean, are we
I'm
live
full effect.
on TikTok, Instagram?
We are not live on. Uh-oh. Wait, why does it look like we're not live on?
Yep.
I know we're not live on TikTok. I was gonna start that one right here. You know, TikTok is sometimes can be special. TikTok can be special and cause problems. Let me see. But yeah, we can dive into it while we're at it, man.
All right. All right. I will. Hopefully, 2026. Now that the Raider season is over, and you actually put
Yeah.
in a lot of time into combat sports and boxing, this will be the main channel, and the other two can suck it because there's
Correct.
really nothing else to talk about. I mean, I guess yeah, you could do the other two channels, but there's really nothing to talk about
Right.
on it. So thank goodness that's all over. But yeah, no, I mean the main thing is starting off in the new year. There is definitely a lot of content when it comes to combat sports, and really the first one being that Paramount Plus. I've been seeing the commercials like crazy. If you're watching the NFL and if you're watching it on CBS, they probably ran that US commercial.
Right, right.
It was almost like every quarter at the very least you saw it. Um, but yeah, man, the UFC on Paramount Plus, January 24th, two world title fights, and it's a huge deal. You know, it's a so that one, and then the report that just came out today is that Zuffa Boxing will be on the UFC Apex for that's Friday night, January 23rd. So they're doing a back to back fight weekend, January 23rd on Paramount Plus, is Zuffa Boxing at the UFC Apex here in Vegas. January 24th is UFC 324, which is here at T-Mobile Arena. Two title fights headlined by Justin Gaethje and Paddy Pimblett for the 155-pound championship. I believe, I believe it's 155. I want to double check on that. And then the other one is Kayla Harrison against the legend Amanda Nunes. So, your early thoughts on all of that?
Yeah, you caught me off guard trying to get caught up. Man, I don't know if we're actually
That's why,
okay.
yeah.
No, we got five people. We got five people
Okay.
watching. Shout out to the
So,
people. I just can't. I can't hear certain stuff.
all right.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm looking at the wrong thing. All right, that's what it is. Okay. Yeah, no, it's definitely. Yep, there we go. You hear the music now, right?
I still only hear your voice, but that's fine. As long as
Yeah,
it's working on the YouTube end and
it's working. Hey,
on
TikTok people are joining. I see Jacob
okay.
8704 just joined. I see Matt just joined. Yeah, so yeah, things are working.
All right, cool. So yeah, I did the whole open. What are your early thoughts on all of that on Paramount Plus?
I think that I'm not getting a picture for TikTok. So I don't know what is going on. You guys can't see. Why can't they see?
Yeah, so the main thing for our TikTok guys that just jumped in, thanks for joining us, is New Year starting, and probably the first and biggest news is that the pay-per-view model is over.
Right.
It's $60 for Paramount Plus. UFC 324, which will be here in Las Vegas at the T-Mobile Arena, January 24th, Saturday. That's 2 world title fights, headlined by Justin Gaethje and Paddy Pimblett for the belt that Ilya Tapura had to let go. He's dealing with some divorce issues right now.
Really?
And
that's wild.
And then back to back, what Paramount Plus is doing is on January 23rd. They just announced it today at the UFC Apex. Will be the first Zuffa boxing event. Again, both are free to the public as long as you have Paramount Plus, which again, if you guys who are listening to us on TikTok and all the other social media outlets, if you guys are watching Landman or Mayors of Kingstown or any of the Paramount Plus stuff anyways, like I do, then you already have it. So this isn't like an extra fee or anything. And in fact, for you guys who own Paramount Plus, if you want to go check it out, there's literally a whole homepage right now that just says UFC Explore, and it's pretty cool because it's like a whole menu of. It just brings you, you could go check out the 2000s, the 2010s. It has the entire UFC library. It's a very, very, very cool thing to navigate through. Which is on all the other shows that I'm on. That's what I'm always talking about is it's damn near impossible for this model, which is what they're rolling out as a combat sports weekend, Friday night boxing, then Saturday night MMA, to not work, because the goal of Dana White and TKO Promotions, or TKO Holdings, which is the publicly traded stock, their whole goal is to compete against the NBA, the NFL, and NHL and Major League Baseball. So they're just rolling out with fight weekends. And someone like you, Professor T, who always was busy with the shitty Raiders that was happening, can now stop paying attention to them because there's really nothing to talk about. You can only say Fernando Mendoza so many times. It's time for you to actually really pay attention to how the combat sports world is super rolling out right now this year. And there's contents being talked about literally every day. If you guys check out the Hangout spot, sometimes we're on there for 5 hours every night. And, we got like hundreds of people watching that live because there's just so much. And that's just boxing. That's not even MMA.
Right.
The MMA shows are, if the boxing is being talked about that much, the MMA is being talked about even more. So again, early thoughts first on that. I mean, I'm sure you already have Paramount Plus, but what do you think about all of it? And it's coming in 2 weeks.
Yeah, I'm excited. I mean, it's about time we don't have to pay for stuff. I mean, right? Let's be honest. It gets expensive. So wait, eligible for recommendation. Sorry. Getting weird stuff from TikTok. I don't know. It's a lot of people. a lot of people on TikTok, but I don't think they can see. I don't think they can see.
Oh, they can't see anything.
So they may be able to hear, but I don't hear anybody saying anything either.
Well, if anyone on TikTok can say whether or not you guys can see, that would be great. Put it on the chat. Or
just come on over to YouTube, the Knockout Canvas on YouTube, right? Actually, even Instagram is working.
Oh, okay. So the Instagram's working. That's nice.
Yeah. I think that's what I say. Everything is working. It's just odd that it's very odd that this one is not working. I got one other one I want to get going too.
All right.
But yeah, keep talking. Keep talking.
Okay. I mean, I kind of need to get your thoughts on what's going to happen. Like Zuffa Boxing, for example. That's there's already people talking about on the hardcore side. They're a little disappointed that the first event is happening at the UFC Apex, which, as you know, doesn't hold more than
a lot of people.
I think maybe. I mean, when I was in it, it looked like maybe 1,000, maybe.
What?
But I think it's more like 700, honestly, because it's a very small. It hasn't been rebuilt yet to look like an arena.
Right.
But again, in terms of TV production, for everyone who's watched the Contender Series on Tuesday nights all year, it looks great. So if I'm watching it from home, I don't really care that I'm not there. Because the TV production side of it is so good. That it's fine for me. So they're talking about, I believe the main event's going to be Caleb Walsh against someone, but they haven't quite rolled out the entire thing yet, and I don't know if they will allow fans to be able to purchase tickets, because usually those are invite only type events at the Apex. So but yeah, the first one's rolling out January 23rd. Don't know too much about the entirety of that card, but yeah, I mean, like, what are your overall thoughts on? Do you care that it's at the UFC Apex and there's basically not going to be a lot of people there, really?
Right, I do, because I think that gives a severe advantage to the savage that doesn't care about fans, as opposed, right? Like, that's a psyche that some people kind of need, that type of energy. One, that's the first concern. Sometimes you need to look at somebody in the corner, right? I mean,
it feels like when you're watching, like I said, I've been in there to go watch the Contender Series, and for me, it's cool just because I feel like I'm watching it like it's right in front of my face, and again, it doesn't really take away from the TV production side of it. If you guys want to know what we're talking about, is go watch it, what a Contender Series looks like.
Right.
And if you watch a Dana White Contender Series and you don't get entertained by that, then I don't know what to tell you. But usually the TV production for it is so good and the fights are so competitive that everybody likes watching it. And which is what I think that they're really rolling it out for. They're rolling it out for the Paramount Plus experience on a Friday night, and then it goes into the Saturday UFC 324, which is at T-Mobile Arena. So they're essentially, it's like their formula is they're not really trying to compete against any of the other boxing promotions. What they're doing is they're giving content so that fighters can actually get paid to do something. They're not playing the across the street game. Because you're with Golden Boy, you can't fight that person because that person's with PBC, or because you're with Top Rank, you can't fight. Like, they're trying to recreate the whole brand of boxing into, these are the people you're going to watch. These are the people that are going to get ranked based on how well they do. And if you like the product, then you'll tune in Friday nights, every night, because it's free on Paramount Plus. Right? So that's what I mean is, like, from your perspective, how do you see it?
I mean, we're in the house, man. So it's gonna be the same to us no matter what, right? I mean, so it's free too, right?
Yeah,
This
it's
is
just
all
a part
free now.
of you. As long as you own Paramount Plus, which is $59.99 a year.
Oh,
You
wow.
know. Oh, and yeah. See, I knew it. It says the attendance is usually. I knew it was like less than. Yeah, because when I was in there, I was like, this looks kind of swell. So we're looking at about 300, 400 people that could be in there. So, like I said,
wow.
you know, when I went there, it was by invite only, and I was invited to go watch the Contender Series. But in terms of TV production, all you have to do again is go turn on your Paramount Plus right now. Go to the part that says UFC Explore. Go check out one of the ones that say UFC Fight Night on Apex or UFC Contender Series. Or you guys even remember, if you've been watching MMA for a while, you remember that when the pandemic was happening, that's why the Apex was created, so that there would be less people. So in terms of, again, on a TV viewership perspective, it's great. You know, like I got, you know, so but again, like I think that the two spaces on this is you got someone like yourself who you were paying attention to football this entire time. Now that your college season is over, pretty much, other than the main national championship games, and the NFL season is really over. The thing, you know, Dana White's whole point is boxing is a 52-week season. Like, there is no breaks. So every weekend he's going to give you a content. So this weekend, the 23rd, boxing, the 24th, UFC 324, which is 2 world title fights in MMA. Then the very next weekend, he's doing the same thing. And he's pretty much, other than trying to like not get in the way of Super Bowl weekend or stuff like that, he's pretty much at least going to give you 1, if not 2 weekends every single month of combat sports. Because what he's trying to do is he's trying to introduce it to all the people who are listening to us on TikTok right now, all the people who are just the average casual sports fan looking for content to watch and possibly get into. He's rebranding the entire thing. But someone like you, who's been a diehard forever, you know, how do you see that? Do you see that as a good thing? Do you see it as not a good thing?
I mean, I don't see why it would be not a good thing. You know what I mean? I mean, the truth is we need more eyes on the sport in general, just across the board, all of combat sports. So, I mean, at some point, somebody's got to be bold and make some changes, right? There are a lot of things that have changed over time in pretty much any major sport. I mean, I don't know much about hockey's rules that have changed, right? I mean, just look at football. It's basically flag football at this point. So, I mean, people just have to get comfortable with a little bit of change, right? I mean,
like I said, if you watched any of the football on CBS this past weekend, and there were 2 back-to-back games, at least on the West Coast side, I saw that UFC on Paramount commercial at least 8 times.
Right.
So that's an NFL crowd that they're catering to. They're like, hey, UFC on Paramount Plus. And like I said, if you were already getting Paramount Plus because you watched Tulsa King or Landman or Mayor of Kingstown or any of these shows that I watch, you already had it anyway. So you're not being asked to pay this extra fee in order to be able to watch MMA. And last year, I think the average was you have to pay almost $2,100 if you wanted to watch all the UFC pay-per-views or something like that. Versus this year, it's all on your Paramount Plus channel anyways. And some of it, like the UFC White House event that's supposed to happen in June, is going to be free on CBS. And the word on the block is that they are going to do, you're going to see big name fighters that the hardcore fans are used to in terms of boxing, kind of like what we just saw with Canelo and Crawford, be a part of a Zuffa boxing event. So you know, the articles you'll read right now from the, like, say, the hardcore media for boxing will probably have a lot of criticism about this. They're going to sit there and say, well, it's at the UFC Apex. UFC Apex holds less than 1,000 people for this to be the first event. And again, I understand that side of argument if you want to just nitpick all the negatives, right? Or someone like yourself, you know, you don't want to pay $80 for boxing every single time. You certainly don't want to do it every weekend. And what do you care? Like, you don't care, and you'll either watch it or you won't, right? Like, what did we just find out about Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua when it happened? Right. Everybody said, oh, it should definitely way surpass what Canelo Crawford did. Didn't even come close to Canelo Crawford. Didn't even come close. Nope. So what does that tell you? That, I mean, you could sit there and say, well, Jake Paul isn't as popular anymore. Or you can sit there and go, well, Anthony Joshua wasn't that popular in the United States. At the end of the day, what happened is it's on a Friday night. It was available if you have Netflix. It was competing against other things happening like college football and everything else. Right. 33 million viewership, though, is nothing to shake a stick at, because 33 million viewership is huge, right? That's exposure. So I'll be more interested, rather than, if I'm writing an article, rather than me talking about, oh, well, that venue's got less than 1,000 people, I'd be interested to know what the Nielsen ratings numbers or the viewership numbers are for the first Friday night Zuffa boxing event. Because if you're telling me that a Zuffa boxing event happens on Paramount Plus January 23rd for free, already included on your Paramount Plus, and their viewership is, let's say, 6 million on a Friday night, right? That's already Shakur Stevenson numbers, Professor T, right? And that's what I mean, is for a bunch of people that no one even really knows. I mean, because casual fans are watching them. Like, that's the difference. Like, yes, if you're a hardcore boxing fan, yes, you can sit there and crap on all of this stuff if you want to. All right. But also just know, you're that same hardcore boxing fan that'll probably spend $80 this Saturday on Dalton Smith versus Subriel Matias. But the casual fan doesn't even know who Subriel Matias and Dalton Smith is, right? And you know, again, we're not saying that that's a bad card or it's a bad event or any of that. I'm just telling you that Dana White, he's reformatting everything. His big goal is to compete with the numbers that the NFL and the NBA and NHL hockey and Major League Baseball do. So he's rolling out weekends. Hey, January 23rd and January 24th, the first fight weekend of the year on Paramount Plus. You get to see boxing on Friday. Then you get to see UFC 324, MMA, 2 world title fights on Saturday, both in Las Vegas, blah, 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 blah. And that's how they're promoting it, right? So if you're a casual fan, if you're my son or if you're your son and you don't even really watch it, you kind of have to be like, well, it's on. Right. And it's live. And footballs, I mean, I'm pretty sure the college football game, I think, is happening Thursday, Friday, right? So that might hurt the Zuffa boxing numbers because it's Indiana versus Oregon, right? So I let's assume that Indiana versus Oregon probably will get, what, 30 million viewers, you think? You think 30 million? Maybe. I mean, you know, it's a semifinals. Oregon, it's in the 20 millions or whatever, right?
I mean, right. We're grabbing at straws, but yep.
All right. Okay. So if Zuffa boxing, with no one knowing who's fighting on it yet, in 2 weeks goes on Paramount Plus, and it even gets 2 million viewers. Right. 2 million. Okay. You realize that would be double the amount of everyone who paid to watch Ryan Garcia versus Tank Davis. Correct. You see what I'm trying to say, right? I think that, again, their model or the Zuffa boxing model and the TKO model is I'm going to give you accessibility to it. And if you get used to it the same way you got used to the UFC, then maybe you're not the biggest fan right now, but you will eventually become one. It may take you 3 to 5 years, but you're going to be one of the people talking about it. So they're playing the long game, man. So again, for me, I have no complaints. Shit, like I said, I'm watching Landman anyways, Professor T. So I have Paramount Plus. I don't care. I like now again. I'm going to watch the Zuffa boxing content because I'm very vested in the fighters that are in it, and I want to see how they grow, and I want to see how it changes the boxing landscape. But at the end of the day, man, I'm not paying $80 for Dalton Smith versus Subriel Matias, and I like both of them. But I'm not paying $80. I'm not doing it. It's not happening. So,
I agree. So I guess my question is, I mean, yeah, I don't know, man. I don't. First off, I gotta ask Landman. Yeah, I don't know what that is.
Landman? Yeah. It's with Billy Bob Thornton, Ali Larder, Andy Garcia, Demi Moore. It's a great series. It's on season 2. It's about it's like the Yellowstone of oil drilling.
Okay.
But it's a great drama. But again, like Paramount Plus has had great series like Mayors of Kingstown, Tulsa King with Sylvester Stallone, Lioness. Like they have all kinds of like different shows that you can watch anyway. So most people get Paramount Plus because they want to see regular series shows, or they want to see the movies, like Top Gun and all the other movies that come with Paramount. But like I said, in terms of live content, the fact that I no longer have to pay $80 to watch UFC. And it's an awesome card. I mean, like this UFC card that's coming up with Kayla Harrison versus the return of Amanda Nunes alone. If this was still the $80 pro format, I would have paid that because I wanted to see that fight. But you also have Justin Gaethje versus Paddy Pimblett. And they're trying to make Paddy Pimblett like the next Conor McGregor. Justin Gaethje, as you know, is an all action type of guy. This is for the title that Ilya Tapura had to kind of relinquish a little bit, or he's vacating it or something. He's on pause essentially. But that's what I mean is that would have cost $80, and it's not. It's not costing me $0 because I'm watching Landman. If I was paying for something for Paramount Plus, I'm honestly paying Paramount Plus for the series. I wasn't even paying it for the UFC. I wasn't, you know what I mean? Like, so I'm just getting that as extra content. And that was my point, is that for someone who, like right now, you are a classic example. I don't know what you're doing that weekend. I know you're not watching football though, because there isn't any football. So what are you going to watch, right? Like, what are you going to do? If you're going to do a live, you might as well do a live on Zuffa Boxing, right? Or you might as well do a live on UFC 324 now, right? Like now you could really do lives because they're free.
Right.
They're already on the channel. Like this is where everybody who will write a hateful article about what TKO Holdings are doing or TKO Promotions, it's like you've just lost your mind, man. They're not catering to you. They're not catering to you, the hardcore person who's had to deal with a certain structure. They're catering to Professor T had to deal with a certain structure. They're catering to Professor T's son or my son, who normally never watch it.
Correct.
And there's so much commercial about it. They're gonna be like, "Ooh, I haven't seen a fight in a while, and that one looks good, and it's free." So, I mean that's. So again, I would be very, I for sure UFC 324. So UFC 324 on January 24th is let me because that's a major MMA event, and it's competing against in the world of boxing. Let me just make sure I check it. In the world of boxing, January 24th. It will be competing against Moses Itauma versus Jermaine Franklin happening in the UK, but it's early in the morning, so it's not even competing against that. And I do own DAZN because I subscribe to the DAZN, so I get that for free. That's not a pay-per-view. They are competing in Vegas with Raymond Murataya versus Andy Cruz, which is happening at the Fontainebleau. I guess, So I guess if you can't get tickets to T-Mobile, you might as well go check out the boxing at the Fontainebleau, right? But the Fontainebleau, as you know, when I took you there, Professor T, what's it hold? Maybe 1,000 people?
Yeah,
maybe.
It's not huge.
Yeah, it's not a big arena, right? Maybe 1,500, right? Like, I don't know. It's not a very big arena, though. So the majority of the people are going to be at UFC 324. About 25,000 people will be at T-Mobile Arena. And on terms of accessibility, because all you have to be is subscribed to Paramount Plus anyway, what do you think the viewership's going to be for UFC 324? Now that it's not an $80 thing.
Yeah, I think it'll go through the roof.
Right.
I think you're going to get massive casuals.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%.
Right.
No
and I think that when you see, I think like the number that we saw for Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua on a Friday night, that's 33,000 live viewerships, 33 million live viewerships of people who are subscribed to Netflix. I think that that's what they're trying to get to. I think that that's their goal. They're like, hey, let's see how many millions of people watch UFC 324 on Paramount Plus for the first time.
Right.
And if the numbers end up being even close to that, like 25 million, that changes the whole game, Professor
Absolutely.
T.
Absolutely.
Because up to this point, everybody's always about the pay-per-view numbers. And when you hit 1 million pay-per-view, it's a big deal.
Right.
And anything that's close to 2 million is like historical, right?
Correct.
And you know, when we were there for Canelo Crawford, 47 million people watched that live. Right? That's live. I don't even know how many replays have been watched since then, but I'm just saying on the live for Netflix, that was a big deal, right?
Huge.
So, you know, so again, it's hard for me to, anytime I go on any podcast or any shows, it's going to be very difficult for anyone who writes on a comment, but the UFC's blank. Look, man, you're either just really hating
right.
or you're not reading the room, man. You're not understanding that the landscape is changing and more and more people are going to be watching what they're going to be calling Combat Sports Weekend in 2026 because it's accessible. It's in fact, I'll be surprised if your son doesn't just watch it with you, man.
Right. Just because it's on. Yeah.
Just because it's on.
No, that's what makes the most sense, to be honest.
Yep.
That's true.
Yeah. So that's probably the biggest thing that's happening in this year, like moving forward, right? Is that. And then the other thing is, obviously at the end of the month, we're going to have the Teofimo Lopez versus Shakur Stevenson fight. But now again, and this is not, and I love boxing, right? This is not me poo-pooing on them, but this is my point. If the goal was for them to do a show in the United States of America at Madison Square Garden for Teofimo Lopez versus Shakur Stevenson, and if the goal was to also get more viewership, then Turkey, I'm asking you, why are you charging people $70 for it?
Yeah.
Because if they turn on Paramount Plus on the same exact time on January 31st, they're going to get to watch UFC 325.
I didn't know they were doing it. Yeah, that's not.
So that's
work.
what I mean. It's like you're basically taking away certain because there's going to be people that will watch. Don't get me wrong. There's going to be people that will watch Teofimo Lopez versus Shakur Stevenson because that is a big deal for American boxing. Correct. But a lot of them might not pay that $70 and just wait for it to go on YouTube or wait for it to go on replay. And this is again the internal battle of why are you charging people for boxing when really I thought last year it was promised to us that the pay-per-view model was going to be over.
I agree.
Right. Now they do have, I don't know, you probably didn't do it, but DAZN is offering this deal right now where if you never want to pay another boxing pay-per-view in 2026, you just have to pay him $40 a month. So let me ask you, what apps do you own where you're playing anything close to $40 a month? Are you paying for like the ESPN app that has all the different sports? Because that's like $30 a month.
I'm not paying nothing.
You're not paying for none of those, right? So, my DAZN subscription is $400.
That's $500.
I know. That's what they're doing. They're saying, hey, you could either pay $70 for Teofimo Lopez for Shakur Stevenson, which, by the way, you already know, Professor T, I'm not doing that. I'm going to Sunset Station Casino where they show it for free. But I'm just saying, like, if for people who are, or you could go turn on your Paramount Plus and watch UFC 325 for free. Like, so if you're an American viewer, how is that good for, how is that good for boxing? You explain that one to me.
It's not good for boxing in any way, shape, or form. It doesn't make any sense. I'd love to know where the logic is in going up against something you're never going to be able to beat. Just because of cost.
Yeah. No, I'm looking at it right now. It says UFC 325, January 31st, 6 p.m. It's in Sydney, Australia, but they're doing it on American primetime TV. Main event is Alexander Volkanovski versus Diego Lopez for the 145-pound title. And then the co-main event is Dan Hooker versus Benoit Saint Denis. And then it's Rafael Fiziev versus Mauricio Ruffi. And then it's Tai Tuivasa versus Teixeira, the 6'8" dude. Talison Teixeira.
Okay,
and then the heavyweight, right. Against Tai Tuivasa is the guy who drinks the beer out of his shoe.
Yep.
And then Jimmy Crute versus Dustin Jacoby. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 5 really good matchups at 6 p.m. on January 31st. Now, Teofimo Lopez versus Shakur Stevenson. Give me a second. Versus Shakur Stevenson is also, you have to first you have to have DAZN. So DAZN, if you don't own it, it costs you $20 a month, just so that you guys know. I do own it. So to me, that's why, I watch all the boxing through DAZN, right? But you have to have the $20 subscription, and then because it is a pay-per-view, I'm reading it right now, it is $69.99. So $20 for me owning it, and then I got to pay an extra $70. So that's why they're saying to you, Professor T, hey, instead of paying me $90 this month, why don't you just pay me $40 every month, and then you never have to worry about any of these pay-per-views? I mean, what do you think about that? Like, if you're as a hardcore boxing,
you put me on the spot because I won't pay for none of it. I'm still going to watch. I don't know, man. I don't know what's gonna come about of it, because I don't see it making money when they're costing this with the way that the world works today right now.
Yep.
I think it's just doing a huge detrimental course is being set, if you will, because it should be going the other direction. I think we should be trying to get cheaper and be charging $5. That way people will start buying it more. And I don't know. I just don't. Money is really rough right now.
Yep.
What I mean? Like, it's like the worst time on the planet to do it. And casuals definitely aren't paying.
Yeah, because casuals don't even know who they are. You know what I mean? Like, and again, I love Shakur Stevenson
to death.
Yeah, but does your son know who Shakur Stevenson is?
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Not gonna lie, I don't know boxing. I don't pay attention to boxing. I don't watch boxing. Yeah,
Right.
I agree. Yeah.
Right. But if I said to your son, if I was having lunch with your son and I said, hey, man, do you know what the UFC is? Is he going to say yes or no?
Yeah, he would know what the UFC is.
Yeah, no, he might not know specific fighters,
Right,
but he knows
know
the UFC, right? So that if I told him, hey, man, they're showing UFC for free, you don't have to pay $80 on, do you think he'll at least go, well, I'll turn on some of it, right? Okay, right? And then that's how, that, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, is how we all got hooked into boxing, is we were watching it for free. And then we fell in love with it. So why do you think that for any of you guys who may be thinking on TikTok or Instagram right now that what we're saying is crazy, what makes you think that in 5 years from now, if people like Professor T's son or my son have gotten used to watching what they call Combat Sports Weekend, which is Friday night boxing and UFC Saturday nights, that some of them won't eventually become a fan of combat sports? Right. And they're rolling it out. Like they just did the jiu-jitsu with the brothers that you trained with. Right. I mean, these are all coming together. There's wrestling that's happening now. Like they're doing that whole professional wrestling. So Yoel Romero just did one where it's the actual like college style Olympic folk style wrestling. Right. So they're giving you so much content nowadays that, if anything, like to your point, boxing's competing against that. Yeah, so if you're charging me $70 on top of the 20 I was already giving you, I love Shakur Stevenson, man. I do. I'm just saying that you have to find 1 million people like me.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like versus your son and my son, you know, like they're going to be sitting there going, it was free. Right. So we'll see. But again, when we get closer to that matchup, we'll break that down a little bit more. But that's kind of just to give you guys a comparison of what is going on out there. There's so much content, especially right now with football being over, until the Super Bowl. So you're just kind of watching the playoffs anyways. But man, they're giving you so much combat sports content that they're all kind of like, there's going to be a lot of different avenues. It's like we're walking into a food court of different. What do you want to see, Professor D? Do you want to see boxing on DAZN? Do you want to just turn on Paramount Plus? Do you want to watch MMA? Do you want to watch UFC? Like, what do you want to do? So it's a great time to be a combat sports fan if you are a combat sports fan, because there's just so much content. So
we got a lot rolling in, man. We got a lot rolling.
Go ahead. Do your roll call.
Dakota James is in the building. We got Eddie Silva is in the building. We got Cold Man. We got Ronald Taylor in the building, man. We got O'Darius Hudson. I like that name. We got Colby Connor in the building. CB79, boy, I'm telling you, TikTok is rocking. We got Stevie in the building. Freddie Felix is in the building. Tom is in the building. Sean Smithers is in the building. Antonio is in Arnito is in the building. My bad. David is in the building. We got Raider Chavez in the building. I mean, the list goes on and on, man. Delcan just came through. We got Trailblazer 2345. It's on and popping on TikTok. If you don't mind, all TikTok people, please don't forget, mosey on over to the Knockout Canvas. That is on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, as you know, Twitch, Kick, right? All of those. And then we have Reyes Boxing, right? Reyes Boxing, and that is Instagram.
Yeah, it just Instagram for right now. Yeah,
and Instagram it is. So please don't hesitate. Support us over there. We need it, man. Jesse Eureka is in the building. That's it. I'm gone. Yeah, that's a lot, man. That's a lot of people.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. So again, that's a rollout for what's happening in 2026. Excited this week. In the immediate, we do have 2 boxing events. One is on DAZN, which is happening in the UK. It's for the WBC interim heavyweight title between Agit Kabayel, the body snatcher, who knocked out Zilei Zhang the last time we watched him. He's the main event for this Saturday. So if you own DAZN, that will be in the daytime. And then, like I told you, man, there's that $80 pay-per-view, which I will not be paying for, but I will. Somebody, watching it. Yeah, somebody's gonna stream it for sure. Yeah, like somebody's showing that somewhere. That somebody's doing a pirate's life, and I'll be supporting your Facebook or whatever. Yeah. So, but again, this was our entire soliloquy on. Boxing, that group of boxing is going to have to read the room, because the Zuffa boxing is what people like your son and my son are going to get used to.
Correct. Because
it's free. It's accessible. Exactly. They're going to learn about these young fighters. They're going to they'll be telling us, they'll be like, hey, Dad, did you see that 18-year-old that was on, right. I would be like, damn, how'd you know? I was watching it on Friday night. After Landman, you know what I mean?
You keep saying Land. You are Landman.
Hey, it's a good show, guys.
It is giving a lot of free publicity here.
TikTok, tell Professor T about Landman. Let Professor T know how good Landman is. It's a great show.
And a lot of free pub. I might need a deal or something.
Yeah. So, but anyway. So speaking of 2025, I asked you to look into your self. I've talked about it tons of times already on all kinds of different shows. But just curious to know in 2025, what were sort of your awards for? For some of these things. So let's just start with, you were there for Canelo Crawford, obviously. So there's already a couple of fights in there that could have been a part of this whole list. But let's just start with upset of the year. For boxing, what did you think was the upset of the year? Because for MMA, I'll tell you right now, for me, the upset of the year was the one I just saw. I didn't think Petr Yan was going to beat Merab Dvalishvili. That shocked the hell out of me. But hey, man, I'm not the only one. But so in boxing, what was your upset of the year?
Oh man, shit! I'd have to. Off the top of my head, you got to give me some fights.
There's a lot. Like what was it that you saw that you didn't think was going to happen the way it did, and then it did happen?
Whole year, man.
Oh, just even think in your head just recently. What did you think was gonna happen, and then it didn't happen?
It would have to be Tank and
Lamont Roach. Okay, yes. That's not necessarily an upset of the year, but everybody knows Lamont Roach really beat him. So It sort of is the upset of the year. All right. So, yeah, the Tank one. That's a good one.
Yeah, that would probably be up on the top of the list.
That shocked you.
I don't know why Raiders for Life is coming in asking about an opinion on the Blazers. Maybe it's something. I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe he thinks it's the Thursday night show.
Yeah, this is the Blazers, that basketball, Trailblazers. What's going on, Raiders? And you're Raiders for life, man. You're making us Raider fans look bad here. You gotta help us out.
I don't know. All right, so upset of the year, it's not bad. Yeah, Tank Davis. Tank Davis was definitely a shocker.
Well, the problem is he didn't lose though, so that's why I gotta boo myself on that, because it's really not a shocker that he won, but it was a shocker that he lost. You see what I did there? Like, I don't know. But no, seriously, that was. Well, I guess that was no, because you said the loss. So I really don't want to use that one. Let me think of another one.
And this is part of it. Is like I was saying, like now you can actually put down the NFL part of yourself and start watching so many of these boxing events that going into 2026, you'll be able to go, oh, I totally do remember watching blank.
Yes, because I know there are some that I.
Okay, so I'll give you one that most people didn't think was going to happen. Rolly Romero beat Ryan Garcia.
Yeah, no, that right there is probably the top of the list.
That's maybe. The top of the list. Okay, I'll give you.
I was never a fan of Rolly, to be honest.
Okay.
I just knew he had a big punch.
All right. But I mean, again, that's an example.
No, that's
another one that we got to watch also is there was supposed to be this whole Caleb Plant's going to fight Charlo as long as both of them wins. Yeah. And then Caleb Plant lost the title to Armando Resendez.
That's right. Yeah.
So those are the ones that, again, and these are just ones that are throwing out there. There's certainly a lot, but
I'm still on Rolly though. And
okay,
Garcia. That still would be my number one based on so far.
For the Rolly, you're shocked at Rolly, or you were surprised?
Shocked.
I was shocked.
I thought I thought he'd just get outboxed.
Right, and he didn't. And Ryan Garcia.
I've never ever seen him as like a boxer. That's what I mean. Like he's a brawler, if anything.
Okay. All right.
I don't see him as having skills like that.
Okay, I'll throw a couple more out there that might jolt your memory because you did get to watch these. But for example, now for me, I always say heavyweight boxing is 50-50 because you just never know. Right. But a lot of people do feel that Fabio Wardley beating Joseph Parker recently.
Yeah.
It's kind of a shocker, right? Not me. I'm never shocked on these things, right? But
that's a good one, though.
Yeah, some people say the Terrence Crawford over Canelo, but I had Terrence Crawford beating the hell out of him the whole time. So, but some people say that could be an upset of the year type of a thing because so many people were leaning towards Canelo.
Right.
So yeah. So and again, you'll read articles about it, but that's upset of the year. And then the other one I would throw out there too is a lot of people thought Brian Norman was going to completely destroy Devin Haney.
Yes.
And that didn't happen. Yeah. So
the opposite.
There is that. Okay. How about event of the year for you? Event of the year for boxing. What would that have been?
You already know what it is for me.
Yeah, we were there. So
Canelo.
Yeah, the Canelo Crawford was quite an event. 70,582 people. That's a lot. That was crazy. That was crazy. Probably I'll be shocked if we see 70,582 people in USA boxing, but we'll see. It's the year just started. Maybe I'll be wrong. And I'll be pleasantly surprised, but I don't think there's going to be any fighters this year that can fill out 70,000. I can't even think of two fighters that can fill out 70,000 right now in America. I'm talking about in the United States of America. I'm not sure. All right, knockout of the year, and we saw plenty of those.
Knockout of the year. Knockout of the year. I can't even think off the top of my head. Let me see.
I mean, for MMA, for me, it would have been Ilya Tapura knocking out Charles Oliveira. I thought that was awesome. Earlier this year. But there's other great knockouts. I mean, not just that one. To me, that was super memorable. But for boxing, there were so many great boxing knockouts. So what was your knockout of the year?
I'm trying to see. I have no idea. I'm trying to think of one.
I mean, you were kind of shocked over that Justice Hooney fight and Fabio Wardley in the rain.
Yeah. But I don't. Biggest knockout though.
I mean, I'm asking you, man.
Bro, I'm drawing a blank.
This tells me that you've been watching way too much Raiders football, bro. So you're telling me you don't remember Brian? You don't remember Brian Norman knocking out Jen Sasaki so much that he forgot 6 weeks. Remember, that was a whole thing.
I do remember that.
Okay, all right.
I mean, that's got to be the big one, though. I mean,
it's one of them. It's but that one was.
That was a 5th round knockout. I remember that. No, I actually do. I'm just trying to think of. That's got to be it. That's why I'm like, there's really nothing else out there.
Oh no, there's a ton. So,
for me, I mean, that I can think of off the top of my head until you say something, and then it's like, oh, well, I can compare that one. If you jog my memory.
Well, when we started 2025, the very first fight of the year, it was January 3rd or January 8th was the first fight of the year in 2025, and it was between Jai Opetaia and David Nika. And that's the one where Jai Opetaia knocked out David Nika so badly that we haven't seen David Nika come back since. So that's definitely up there. Fabio Wardley versus Justice Hooney was one that you were watching too, where Justice Hooney was beating the hell out of Fabio Wardley, like every round. And then just that thunder from the right hand, man, knocked out Justice Hooney, right? Anthony Joshua broke Jake Paul's jaw, again, that was to be expected. I know, but I'm just saying, I'm throwing out.
Speaking of, you saw that he's not. Well, they say he's done with boxing indefinitely, at least.
Oh yeah,
that's what boxing says.
Yeah. No, we I've talked about this in the past, like that. What happened to him, and prayers for him, his family, the families of his two best friends. That's devastating, man. 2 weeks prior to that accident, he's one of the most popular figures in the world.
Right.
2 weeks later, they get in a car accident, and two of his very best friends died, and he could have died too. Right. Just the mental trauma of that experience alone. Right. I would have been surprised if he said he was going to continue with boxing. I mean, right now he's going to be.
He said he's not boxing anymore.
Yeah, he's out, bro. Yeah, no, I thought that's what you were saying, because that was already announced a couple of days ago that he did a private conversation with his family, and that it wasn't announced by Eddie Hearn, but the uncle spoke out and said, yeah, he talked to all of us, and he said he's done with boxing.
Wow.
I mean, why wouldn't he? He's almost, he's going on 37 years old.
So you misunderstood what I said, because what I was saying is the other side of that fence.
You thought he was going to fight?
No, Jake Paul.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my bad. Oh, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying that Paul, boxing, literally the association itself said he's indefinitely.
Oh yeah,
based on I believe his injury.
No, well, I know that with a broken jaw, there's not going to be any boxing commissions that will re-sanction him back probably until 2027, anyways. Right. And in 2026, it's the Winter Olympics. So his fiance is that speed skater lady.
Right.
So Jake Paul himself was going to be focusing on that anyhow, and focusing on his jaw getting back to health and whatnot. But again, going into 2027, he was already talking about challenging Crawford.
Yeah, well,
so based
on what they're saying, it's not possible.
Right. Well, in 2027 is so far. In 2027, bro, I could actually be seeing the Raiders be in the playoffs. You know what I mean? Like it's so far away from me.
I think you need a little bit further than that.
Yeah, well, no, I'm hoping.
I'll see 2027. We'll be lucky if we even still got a team that's even fighting to have a winning record.
I'll tell you right now, man. If they get John Harbaugh, if John Harbaugh comes in,
we get John Harbaugh, that's a different ball.
Yeah, if we get John Harbaugh, it's over. In 4 years we'll win the Super Bowl for damn sure. Because it usually takes them about 4 years.
I would say 4 to 6 years. I think we would have a legitimate shot. It'll be right when he's turning right around 60, right?
Right. Well, no, he's 63 right now, but he'll be
around 70.
Right around 70.
It'll be his sending off party. He'll have somebody that they have as a successor.
Right.
That's what would make sense. What would make sense is for him to come, like you say, be here for a good 4 or 5 years, win one, and ride off into the sunset.
Yeah, no, I would love it. I mean,
Dude,
again,
I just learned for the first time that Anthony Joshua said he's done. That's wild to me, bro.
Well, I mean, like imagine if you were in that terrible car accident, and it was horrible. It was.
He's not that old though, right?
He's 37. He's like Crawford, dude.
He's 37. Dang, what is wrong with me, bro?
You've been watching too much Raiders, dude. That's what's wrong with you. Like. No, he's old, man. I mean, not old, but you know what I mean. He's
I would be done. I would be done.
Yeah, but
I'm done.
Yeah, if you're Anthony Joshua and you just knocked out Jake Paul and you got whatever his take home was, his take home was 45 million or something like that, anyways. But
bro, that hurts my heart, man.
Yeah, he was already the unified champion, 2-time heavyweight world champion, Olympic gold medalist. He's one of the. I mean, I have him on my top 20 best heavyweights because of what he was able to accomplish, right? And at the end of the day, like people tend to remember you more when you're gone anyways. But that devastating accident and that tragedy that happened to him, dude, mentally speaking, he's going to be grieving for a while. So I mean, unless you want to tell me that somehow getting back into boxing training is actually good mental therapy, I don't see him doing it. I
don't see him doing it either. Not at all. I didn't know that, man.
Yeah. Now he hasn't publicly announced that, but he also has been kind of staying away from the public limelight, and everybody should give him some grace, man. The guy's dealing with a ton of grief right now, so everybody leave Anthony Joshua alone. And if Eddie Hearn wants to make an announcement, then that's different. That's his promoter. Right. But yeah, no, bro. That's the recent word just this week from his uncle.
Pretty heavy, man.
Yeah. Who the uncle said that Anthony had a private conversation with the family, and he said that's it. He's not boxing no more. He's done. But well, we'll see. We're praying for him. We're praying for everybody going through it right now over there, and that was really, really rough. So. But all right, so for you, it's the Jin Sasaki one, huh? You're the Brian Norman Jin Sasaki is your knockout of the year?
Yeah, that would be what it would have to be.
All right.
For boxing, right? For boxing.
Because Bam Rodriguez had that awesome one that just happened in Riyadh. Naoya Inoue had that amazing one that happened here.
Yeah, Inoue. I keep forgetting that Inoue is another knockout artist.
Yeah, he knocked out that Ramon Cardenas kid here at T-Mobile. And that's what saved Cinco de Mayo weekend because, Canelo's skull was running. Everybody was complaining already. Like, man, we saw this week. Ryan Garcia, Rolly Romero fight, Devin Haney, Jose Ramirez. That was that entire weekend. It was supposed to be this big, this is going to be amazing. And it was like, New York was terrible. Then the Riyadh Canelo card was terrible. So it was Naoya Inoue in Vegas on a Sunday night on ESPN that saved the day. He was like, how about I get knocked down and then I knock this dude out too? Is everybody happy? So there, like I said, there was tons of knockouts, and I can't wait for you to put all your energy into watching combat sports now that the Raiders is done. It's done, son. We know who we're getting. It's Fernando Mendoza.
That's where you and I differ.
Well, no. I'm not saying that's who I would pick. I'm saying that's what's going to happen, bro.
That's what's going to happen.
What we can talk about it on the other show.
A different show. Yeah, we're not.
I'm just saying, if you guys on TikTok and everybody listening to us right now, if you're watching football, it's going to be very difficult for John Spytek to not take the Heisman Trophy winning third Latin, Cuban American, 6'5", 230 pounds. First Cuban, right? Like, come on, man. That would be a PR nightmare. The only way I could see the Raiders passing up on this kid is if Dante Moore lights up Indiana this Friday.
I trade back for capital. We need everything. We're not doing this, and coach, we're not doing this.
I know. I'm just
Let's
saying.
Move on. Let's move on.
So anyway, how about your fight of the year?
I'm biased. It's got to be Crawford, man. But he's my favorite fighter of all time.
No, Crawford Canelo was definitely.
He's my favorite fighter of all time. I mean, he surpassed Pretty Boy over this year.
Yeah, no, I mean, in terms of just like, again, if you looked at what the scorecard said, he barely won the fight, even though when we were there, he was whooping his ass for like 10 of those rounds. But apparently, according to the scorecards, he barely won. He needed to win the last 2 rounds to eke out 7-5 decision, right? So yeah, if that's who your fight, if that's what your fight of the year is, I don't know why it wouldn't be. There was a lot of great fights this year, but I wouldn't say no to that one. That was a hell of a fight. That was definitely a hell of a fight. And then how about so this was a topic of discussion on a lot of the other shows that I was in. But fighter of the year. Fighter of the year, usually the popular ones were like, well, you got to put Usyk in there, right. And then there's obviously Crawford, right. And then there's Inoue, right. And then there's Bam Rodriguez, right? Like those are the four main names that keep coming up. But if you were going to pick out of those 4, who would it be for your fighter of the year?
I'm gonna give Usyk his flowers. I would say.
Okay. Yeah, is it just because he's a heavyweight?
Well. Kinda. Okay. Kinda.
I mean, he beat Dubois. Dubois 27, right?
That's what I'm saying. He's younger. He's bigger.
Yeah.
Right. So, I mean, and he's definitely an all-timer.
Right.
I mean, he's been pound for pound more than Crawford.
Right.
See what I'm saying? I'm fair. That's what I'm saying. I'm fair. You already know I want to say Crawford, but...
No, I mean, if you would have said Crawford, it wouldn't have been terrible either. It's where I push back on a lot of it just because it depends on what you're trying. If we're picking fighter of the year, right? Like MVP, like in NFL, it'd be like the MVP. Right. Then it depends on how it depends on how you want to look at it. Because if you want to say, well, who was the most impactful player in this whole game in 2025 that actually helped change the whole thing, it's hard not to say that it would be Crawford, because Crawford moved up 3 weight classes. He was in the biggest event of the year. He beat the pound for pound great Canelo, who knocked him off the pound for pound list. And that's the first time Canelo got knocked off the pound for pound list in like 7 years or something like that. It's been a long time, right? Yeah. So you could say that. Where I kind of push back on a few of these things is, for example, with Usyk only fought once this year.
Right. I knew you were going to say that.
I can't really. I mean, like, I could agree with the whole. He beat a younger, stronger, blah blah blah, but he already beat him.
Right.
You already beat Daniel Dubois. Like so. That's not a fighter of the year. So now I'm like, okay, now we got to talk about Crawford, right? But then I'm like, I can make the same argument with Crawford. As amazing as what he did was, at the end of the day, he also only fought once this year. And now that's where, when I look at someone like Bam Rodriguez, who unified 2 other championships this year, fighting the top people in his class, or Naoya Inoue.
Right, Inoue.
And the thing about Inoue, and this is where, if you guys are listening to the show and you're more of an American boxing fan,
he fought 4 times this year.
He fought 4 times this year, which hasn't happened since Larry Holmes did it in 1983. So when you match a record like that, 4 defenses against your mandatories in the same year, he knocked out 2 of them.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, he blasted the other 2 that was supposed to be his hardest contest, ended up being his easiest fights. He beat the hell out of them, right? And also with Inoue, one of the stats that always gets left out is not since Joe Louis has anyone won 25 straight title fights, except for Inoue.
Right. Yeah, no, it's bingo.
So
I honestly forgot about that. I forgot about that.
Right. But I mean, again, when we say all four, right? If we're talking again, it just depends on how you want to look at the MVP, right? Like last year, it was between Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson, right? Depends on how you want to look at it. So same thing this year. Depends on how you want to look at it. I wouldn't have been mad if you'd have said Crawford, right? Usyk's the one where I would have been like, I get it. He's a heavyweight. I know Severe loves his heavyweights, but I still don't think Usyk should be number one anyways. I think that you got to fight more than once a year to be considered the number one guy. And if you're, that's what they used to do with Roy Jones, is they used to try to push Roy Jones down because they would say about Roy Jones, well, he's not fighting nobody. Right. And the truth is he just makes them all look like they're nobodies. And that's Naoya Inoue. Naoya Inoue is so good. He makes the best people.
I agree.
Dude, the last two guys he fought were supposed to be the best guys. The guys that were going to challenge, he made those guys look like taking candy from a baby, dude. His two hardest fights were the ones he got knocked down because them two dudes wanted to actually fight with him. Right. So, but these other two.
They thought they were going to win the pissing match.
Yeah, no, bro. Yeah, so.
Not against him.
Yeah.
Not a good idea. Not a good idea.
Oh, yeah. But no, 2026 will be great. Like I said, 2 weeks from now, we're going to get to see that event. I don't know if you're doing a watch party this Saturday, but if you are, it's on DAZN. I think it starts at like 10 in the morning, which would be noon your time. It's the heavyweight championship. And I know you're not paying for the $80 Dalton Smith.
I'll be in Minnesota, man. Shout out to them Gopher girlies, man.
The Gopher girls are out. All right, cool.
We got Arkansas.
All right. Well, good luck to little Takoya, right?
Yeah, that's my wife. But
my bad. Why did I say that? My bad.
We all start with T's. That's why. Shout out to that little crump girl, Taryn girl.
Okay, thank you. I'm sorry, man.
But NIL gear. Shout out to University of Minnesota.
No, the Gophers should have a good team this year, right? The whole gymnastics team is going to be great. So
absolutely.
That'll be awesome. And is your son's track thing back? Or it's winter, right?
He is actually, yes. I believe they start their first track meet as far as for school in February, beginning of February, which is going to be very interesting because he's going to do very well.
All right. Hey, man, I'm sure he is.
I'm shocked. I already know his times are going to astronomically go down from his first year to the second, just due to club.
Right.
You know what I mean? And he's already had his first club meet of the season, which is, again, another reason why I know.
Right.
He's going to get out there and absolutely smash it. So just to give an idea, I got to say it, his last track meet, he only lost to a senior in high school. He ran the 800 in 2 minutes and 5 seconds flat.
Damn. That kid is fast.
He crushed his initial PR by 7 seconds.
Man, he is fast.
He's barely getting into the coach. You know what I mean? It's
And he's got 3 more years of this, right? 3 more?
Got 5 more years.
5 more years. Okay, yeah. Wow. Wow.
Yeah, it's gonna be
amazing,
man. I'm excited to see what
just stay healthy, young man.
Yes.
Do not get yourself hurt.
That's the key, especially in this cold weather, man. Running out here in this cold weather is tough.
Yeah. So stay healthy. But no, so that's it. We're gonna get this whole rolling it out correctly on the TikToks and everything else.
We'll get it going.
On 2026, and he doesn't have to worry about the Raider stuff now, guys. So he's gonna be watching it every weekend. He's gonna be. It's free too, so he'll be watching it every weekend now.
Yeah.
All right, big man.
All right.
That's it for me.
Yeah, okay. Well, I mean, hey, as you know, we got tomorrow night the game. I forget which one
it's Miami versus you and Spencer watching Ole Miss. That's what it is. Yeah, that shambles kid.
Ole Miss is about to.
We'll see. Hey, man, I'm kind of rooting for Carson Beck. if I'm gonna be honest, I'm rooting for Carson Beck because I just want the kid to do well because they threw him to the trash when he got injured, man. And I was like, good for you. I'm glad Georgia lost. Good for you, Carson Beck. Good for you, bro. Plus, honestly, I'll say it right now. If one of our 10 picks in the later and day 3 ends up being Carson Beck as our future backup, dude, I'd totally, if they take Fernando Mendoza in the first pick and then Carson Beck like in their 5th pick or something, dude, I'm fine. Whatever.
That'll never happen. They'll keep AOC before that. They'll keep
AOC.
No.
I would say we're going to keep AOC anyways because he's on his 4th year. But yeah, why not? Get more quarterbacks. Not remember what happened to Trey Lance and Brock Purdy, bro.
Right.
That's the big one that everybody never really always. It's the truth, dude. If they never took Brock Purdy, they would be so screwed right now.
Yes,
but true. They did.
That's true.
So
good point.
Yep. So tomorrow night, the Turf and Spence show. You guys are gonna watch Miami, Ole Miss.
Yep. That's gonna be a good one. That's
right. Right.
Yeah, that's it, man. I'll be traveling. Like I say, I'll be off for Friday and back Sunday, Monday, I think, something like that. I don't know. It's a lot of every weekend from now till next. So.
All right. Well, make sure you at least have your phone so you can watch the DAZN on the plane and all that good stuff. And Paramount Plus. Make sure you're watching Paramount Plus. All right. In fact, right now, because you missed so many of the UFC events, like I said, to you guys who are listening to us on Instagram, TikTok, go to your Paramount Plus and you'll see it. It'll says UFC Explore, and you could totally look at every single thing you missed this year. It's all there. Like it's basically like a candy store of and if you love all the old fights, like in the 2000s and 2010s,
they're all
there. It's so cool. It's really cool to actually just check out. So
that is cool.
Yeah. But all right,
let's get out of here, man. I'm going to give me some grub.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, TikTok, for being so cool.
Right.
Please subscribe, guys.
Yep. Till the next time. We out. Peace.